Good morning, I'm Lee at Iridium. Hope everyone's doing fine today. So, when I started this channel, one of the first programs I started doing was albums of the year. And then I started doing songs of the year. So, I'm still doing it a year later. So, I've actually up to 2019 though. So I've only got this one and one more to go, which is pretty cool. And then I can concentrate on other stuff. So 2019, what a year. And this just emphasizes how great music is now. Okay, we're never going to go back to the glorious days of metal in the 80s where it was all over the TV, you know, on MTV and topping the charts. It's not going to happen. You never know. Stranger fucking things have happened, but the way the world is today and the way people's taste in what you call popular music is, I can't see it. I really can't see it. But what we do have though is more bands and more quality than ever. And don't forget, the 80s, for as good as they were, you know, you had some great bands, but you had a load of shit bands as well, either copying those great bands and just not as good, or they were just shit in general and just getting signed by record companies because it was popular at the time. That music was popular at the time. I'm not saying everything is good now, but you have got a lot of music out there, and if you dig deep, you'll find it. And you can sort of use a lot of this, a bit like my A to Z, I suppose, of underrated bands and overlooked bands. A lot of this music could be the first time you've heard this, depending what country you're in. I'm not calling anyone on here, you know, not calling anyone out on here saying they've never heard of these bands. All of you might have heard of all of them, but I'm sure there's some you haven't. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to add some, like, just to avoid copyright, by the way, because it's a fucking bitch, is that they try and take it down. As soon as you hear a lot of music, you know, more than 5 seconds worth. So you're going to get 5-second clips. And funny enough, 5 seconds with a little bit of, you know, talk from me is enough maybe to make you grab and have a listen on YouTube or whatever to see if you like these bands. There's a lot to get through, so I won't be spending a lot of time on each track, but there's 15 tracks, best tracks I've got for 2019, and that shows you how good it is. And there's more I could have included. These are my top tracks. There's bands outside of this that will add good albums as well with good tracks, but I thought I can't go on forever about 2019, so here we go. 2019, 15 tracks, starting at number 15, and Deny the Fallen, Hands for War. So, anyone who doesn't know, Deny the Fallen consists of a couple of members of the band Sacred Warrior, Christian metal band, started late 80s or mid 80s, and then this is completely different though. You got Jonathan Johnson of the guitarist and Ray Power on vocals, and this is a modern metal band that sometimes sort of, like, you know, touch on that 80s bit a little bit of their original sort of sound, Sacred Warrior sound, but mainly stuck in the sort of modern metal genre. And they have, like, experiment all the way through the records. They've got some new music coming this year, but Hands for War for me was a great track. It was a single as well. Check it out. Check that band out. At number 14, Tesla, Love is a Fire from Shock. Love is a fire, gotta keep it burning. So this album took a lot of stick. Tesla fans didn't like it. You had Phil Collen do the production on this album, but I thought it was a great album. I'm not saying it's one of their best, but Tesla doing what they do best in Love is a Fire, in the track itself, that sort of, I don't know, ballady, southern sort of sound they sometimes have. I absolutely love Tesla. They never disappoint. Check that track out. Number 13, Work of Art and Another Night. Another night when you're not here beside me. So, this band, AOR band, on the Frontiers label. I'm not sure if they're actually going to do any more music. I think they've stopped doing music now. For some reason, the sales of their albums didn't do well. But man, they are such a fantastic band. They are great. They're like a mixture of Survivor, Journey, that sort of stuff. This actual song, I love it. And it is a bit of a homage, I say, to Burning Heart, to Survivor. But work of art, a great band, great musicians. You know, if you like that AOR, melodic rock sort of stuff, brilliant band. Check them out. Coming in at number 12 on the best tracks 2019, Crash Diet, In the Maze. We're in the maze. So Crash Diet are a brilliant band. They brought out Rust in 2019, which was the album, and this is full up with great sort of melodic hard rock stuff, you know, in the vein of sort of those Swedish bands that are just dominating at the moment. And In the Maze is like a sort of balladish sort of song, full of melody, great chorus, great melodies all the way through it. Crash Diet are an amazing band. Check them out. Number 11. Now, this list is really mixed up with some really cool music, and a lot of it I wouldn't have been on this list if I did it a year ago, and I've got into some thrash lately, but thrash, really melodic stuff, which is like just fantastic. It's opened up lots of different things for me listening to this thrash stuff. I was very stuck in the, you know, the old Metallica, a bit of Testament maybe. Now more bands are coming to light with me with thrash, and this number 11 is Overkill and Distortion from the Wings of War album. So 6 minutes song, just over 6 minutes song, slow to medium paced. Overkill are so great, man, and I know they're loved in the thrash, you know, community. Thrash fans love them. Never really heard a lot of them, you know, I wasn't into it at the time, but man, if you like it heavy but you still like it melodic, and you know, you can hear the vocals and it's not extreme vocals or anything, Overkill are so great. They're a brilliant band. Check out the Wings of War. Right, coming into top 10 now, territory. Number 10, The New Roses and Down by the River from Nothing But Wild album. So, New Roses, well, what can I say about them? German heavy rock band, very AC/DC-ish. Even, you know, I'm sure a lot of us liked Bon Jovi back in the past when they were good. You know, we're talking the mid-80s. They've even got that sort of sound to them, mixing up with, like I said, sort of AC/DC as well. Very melodic. They've got a great sound. They don't sound like they're from Germany. And I know that might sound, people saying, oh, how can you say they don't sound German? Well, they don't. They sound like they're from America. Simple as that. Full of melodies all the way through. Down by the River is just one of these really fun tracks. Summer song, beers by the barbecue. Absolutely love it. Check out the New Roses, Down by the River. Coming in at number 9. Going back to some thrash again. Never was into this band until lately. Flotsam and Jetsam and Architects of Hate from the End of Chaos album. So, Flotsam and Jetsam, man, what they've got, their singer is absolutely fantastic, and he's sort of more of a sort of a classic metal sort of singer. So you mix that with some thrash metal music, and that's what you get with Flotsam and Jetsam. Really like melodic again, but really heavy at the same time. You know, we're sort of talking, if you love the Toddler Tour album, the new one, this Flotsam and Jetsam are probably going to appeal to you because they've got, like I said, those excellent soaring vocals, but the thrash metal. So Architects of Hate is an absolutely amazing song. Check that one out. Coming in at number 8, Starbreaker and Last December from Dysphoria album. And nothing can change last December. So Starbreaker, unless you don't know, is Magnus Carlsen out of Primal Fear and Tony Harnell, obviously the classic Tony Harnell, TNT singer. And I love the Starbreaker projects. There's 3 albums been out now. Starbreaker, like Dysphoria, came out, like I said, in 2019. Last December is great. Tony Harnell, man, just doesn't disappoint. They're very melodic. You know, this is sort of harkens back at times to that TNT sort of sound, but it's got more of a modern sort of feel as well to it. Absolutely love Last December, but obviously my favourite track off of Dysphoria. Coming in at number 7, we're going back to some thrash again. Another brilliant 80s thrash band that I never got into back then. And Death Angel and their song Immortal Behated. From the album Humanicide. So, excellent 6 minutes, 12 seconds tracks. Slow to medium paced again. Man, Death Angel are so cool. This is really epic. And again, like, you know, the vocals are not extreme. None of these bands that I like that are thrash have the real extreme Cookie Monster vocals, if you know what I mean. They are great singers. You can hear every word they're saying, but it's so heavy. Death Angel are absolutely brilliant. Okay, that's my number 7. Coming in at number 6, one of my all-time favourite bands, Alter Bridge. So they brought the Walk the Sky album out. It's a bit more experimental this time round, I would say. Keyboards used throughout the album. But I've chosen the song Pay No Mind. When the last man falls, it was a single. It's got a real 80s sound to the chorus. Especially the part after the chorus. It sort of goes into this bit, but so catchy, so sort of bordering on those 80s, but keeping that heaviness that Alter Bridge have got. Man, Alter Bridge is so great. Check out Pay No Mind. Okay, coming in at number 5, so we're talking top 5 now, is Love Killers and Hurricane. Back to Tony Harnell again in a project. Didn't write these songs, but guested in them as a singer. The whole album, not just guesting as one song. He sang on the whole album. If you love Tony Harnell, if you love his melodic, you know, you miss that TNT sort of sound, this is it. Love Killers is great. It's an absolutely brilliant album. And Hurricane just harkens back to, like I said, those TNT melodies that we miss so much. Okay, coming in at number 4. Another band for me that have been just so consistent over the last, 10, 12 years, and that's Eclipse and The Masquerade from the Paradigm albums. So if you haven't heard of Eclipse yet, I suggest you just check them out. I did an A to Z of underrated bands on E and dedicated the whole show to Eclipse because they're that great. Their discography is absolutely fantastic. They've had a run of albums now that are just amazing. The Masquerade is just it was a single, but it's just full up. This album, like all their albums, are full up with anything that could be released as a single. They are just brilliant. Eric Martinson's one of the best singer-songwriters and producers out there at the moment. Check out Eclipse, The Masquerade. Top 3 now. So, Michael Sweet, Now or Never from the 10 album. So, Michael Sweet he's been bringing out some brilliant solo albums. The last 3 have been just top notch, on level near enough with Stryper. That's what we're talking now. Now or Never is just heavy, it's melodic, got great vocals as usual. Michael Sweet always produces great vocals. 10 is an amazing album. Now or Never is just a song, a pick of so many songs that I could have chosen off of the 10 album. Great, check it out, Now or Never. If you don't like Michael Sweet or Stryper because of the Christian connection or whatever, the lyrics, wake the fuck up and listen to Michael Sweet now. Because I'm telling you something now, if he wasn't singing about the Christian stuff, he'd be so much more successful. That's what he believes in. Simple as that. Check out Michael Sweet, Now or Never. You won't be disappointed. Number 2. Going back to Sweden again, what a fantastic, country for music at the moment. And one of my favourite bands out of there, melodic hard rock band, Crazy Licks. and their song Eagle from Forever Wild. This was one of the best albums out that year. One of the best songs out that year. 6.5 minutes of epicness. Just so catchy. Man, I just can't get enough of Crazy Licks. They just tick every box you want. If you like your music to have that 80s tinge, but have that production that's so fucking cool and driving and energetic. They're a great band. Check out Crazy Licks, Eagle. And my number one, Queensryche, Light Years. So this is off the Verdict album. The Verdict is a brilliant album. For me, that and Human Condition are just some of the best material they've written, even though Jeff Tate is not now in the band and Todd Latura's with them. Light Years is, I love it when Queensryche, and especially now they sort of do their medium paced sort of songs. This is sort of slow to medium paced. I think that's where they really shine. I love it. It just shows the intricacy of the band. Just a brilliant song, Light Years, on an excellent album. I'm getting so excited for new material, which ain't going to be till next year. But man, check that out. Queensryche, Light Years. If you're not giving Queensryche a chance because Jeff Tate ain't in the band anymore, Jeff Tate with Queensryche didn't make a decent album after Promised Land. Some would argue after Empire. Totally agree with that. You didn't get good music then. You're getting it now. Check out Queensryche, Light Years. That's my number one. What a great year for 2019. Whitesnake also had some music out. Zentrex, which are another thrash band, are really cool. They had some music out that year. Pretty Maids had a good album out that year. The Defiance, great band on Frontiers. And Tigers of Pantang had a great album out. So just a couple of honourable mentions at the end, just to show you how great that year was. Only one more year left to do them up to date. 2020, best songs coming soon.